Welcome to the Cinchuation Podcast, brought to you by Saddle Up. Saddle your horses, tighten those cinches, and join us as we dive into the heart of the Western equestrian lifestyle.
Awesome. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Cinchuation Podcast. Today we have two special guests. We have Josh and Megan. Josh owns a boutique and Megan works in the ag industry. They're both very, very active in the Western community as well. So we're excited to get to talk to you guys today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting us. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So first I want to start off, Josh, what is kind of your background? Like, how did you get into horses? What is kind of your upbringing? Give us a little, backstory.
So the shortest version is, I can give you the long version too. I'll just be here forever. But I grew up with horses, grew up in the ag industry, grew up showing 4-H animals, bounced around between pretty much everything and ended 4-H with just showing goats because that's what I really liked. But my mom grew up with horses, so it was very important to her that we also grew up with horses to have that experience and whatnot. Because you do learn a lot about responsibility and how to take care of not only another person, but another living thing with taking care of horses.
Right. No, that's for sure. I didn't know your mom was the one who was into horses.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Yep.
Okay. Was your dad or no?
Oh, gosh, no.
No?
If it were up to Dad, we would not have any animals.
Really?
Not even a dog.
Not even a dog.
No.
That's so sad.
Mine was reversed, that situation.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So my mom's dad, my grandpa Ken, broke horses and did all the things. In their little town where they grew up, Ray, North Dakota, he actually would consistently be the one that was, hey, the parade's a couple months out. Can you go ahead and get our horse parade broke?
Oh,
So,
wow.
Mom told me a story not that long ago that one of the horses that Grandpa had, they called him Red, just crazy stallion. Grandpa's like, you're doing this whether you like it or not, and he didn't like it, and he full hi-ho silvered tried to go away multiple times through the parade that year.
Oh my God.
Grandpa, being the horseman that he was, just always stayed on him and was like, nope, you're gonna do this, you don't like it, get used to it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's
I
awesome.
had no idea. And your siblings aren't into horses either, right? It's just you?
No, just me.
Just you.
Yeah,
You and your
my
mom.
one brother, his wife used to be into show horses and whatnot. She was a multiple AQHA youth world champion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang. That's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
See, we just learned so much about
We
each
do,
other.
absolutely.
That's really cool.
That's awesome. I guess moving on, like what inspired you? So you have your own boutique. How many years have you had that going?
So the store itself was started in October of 2015.
Oh, wow.
And it started out with just horse tack, stuff like that, therapy products, blankets. And we transitioned into adding clothes in 2019,
Okay.
Unbeknownst to me.
That's nice. I didn't realize it was that long ago. Holy smokes, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I guess what inspired you to go that route and how, like, what was the process of you actually getting it, like, up and going?
So the guy that I was
story
dating,
here.
Here's the story.
the guy that I was dating at the time, he was tired of paying full price for tack. So we had talked about it, and we ended up starting the store and just starting with the smaller lines that we didn't have to do the $1,500, $2,000
Yeah.
opening order with.
Right.
Just slowly building brands that we wanted. The market that we went to first, we actually won a $1,000 gift card from them. So we were able to get in with Horseware of Ireland
Oh, wow.
right off the bat, which was very helpful for us.
Yeah.
Helped a lot.
Yeah.
So at that point, they had a $1,500 opening order. The gal that was our rep at the time was absolutely amazing.
Aw, that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Bill always talks about how when we first started to carry 5-star pads, and it was $1,500 opening order, and I was like, Bill, I don't know if I can do it. And now Lindsay sends
we do
probably
them
a
weekly.
$3,000 to $5,000 order weekly. So,
Wow.
but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that first opening order, I was like,
It's terrifying because you're like, oh my
is,
gosh, that's so
yeah.
much product.
It is, yeah.
But with some other companies, you're like, oh, a $1,500 opening order, and it's no, like you have
You
like
get
10
blanked,
products,
yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to buy more than that.
It's like
Yeah.
going to the grocery store.
No.
Especially if you're buying eggs.
Yeah. You're like, that's $200, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. What are some unique challenges that you face, like as a boutique owner?
So, me personally, with the boutique side of things, I've noticed that a lot of women don't want to buy stuff from me because I'm a guy that owns a boutique, which I found very interesting.
That is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You'd
Yeah.
be like the first one that I would come to, or do
was-
come to.
yeah.
I'm like, hey, does this look okay?
Right. But when I set up booths at shows, people try stuff on and they'll ask their friends, and their friends will be like, oh, it looks great. I'm like, do you want my opinion? And half the time they see us, half the time they say no. I'm like, it looks good in this area, but for you personally and your body style, I wouldn't buy that if I was you.
Yeah.
And I'm very honest about what looks good and what doesn't look good
Yeah.
with people. And a lot of people have been like, well, why would you say that? You're trying to sell stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to try and sell you something that you're not going to like as soon as you leave here, though.
Absolutely.
I'm here to make you
Absolutely.
happy, so I'm going to do my best to make you happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like we relate to that too.
We totally do
Yeah,
that
with
here.
saddles and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just pushing it, Yeah.
I tell
Yeah.
people I'm one of the few tack owners or tack store owners that you'll come across that try to talk you out of buying things when you don't
Absolutely.
need it.
Right.
I want them to be customers and trust us for the long run, not just make this one sale.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I tell new accounts that I'm working on that like I'm not a used car salesman. I'm not here to make a quick dollar. I'm here
Yeah.
to help you as best as I can.
Absolutely.
So if it's not in your best interest, then okay, it's easy to walk away.
It's better to build that relationship. though.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a funny story, too.
We like funny stories.
I was set up at NFR one year. I think it was 21 or 22. I can't remember which one. I could look back in pictures, but I had 2 saddles on consignment in the booth, and one was a really gorgeous double J saddle, and the gal just needed gone. Whatever. It's like, minimum I want is 1,000 out of it. And it should have been priced out of because of the condition and how well the saddle was still in working order.
Yeah.
Should have been priced at 1,800.
Wow.
This guy threw a hissy fit because he was from Texas, and he thought he couldn't charge him. I couldn't charge him sales tax on the saddle because he was from Texas. And it came down to, I was like, sir, when you got off the plane, they said, welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, not Las Vegas, Texas. Texas laws don't apply in Nevada. Whether you like it or not, I have to charge you sales tax.
Yeah.
Every vendor in here or any of the other shows are going to charge you sales tax because you're buying the saddle here. That's how that works. And he threw a hissy fit about it, and I ended up going, you know what? Get out of my booth. I do not want your business. Get out. It was a big enough of a scene between both of us that the security guard that was not that far away was starting to slowly make her way over to my booth. And all the other vendors that were around us were like, we've never seen anyone kick someone out of their booth before. And I was like, well, now you have. So then it was just a good joke the rest of that NFR.
NFR.
Everyone coming in and be like, so if I buy this saddle, do I have to pay sales tax? And it was really funny. The last day of the show, the second to last day of the show, one of my friends had bought the saddle. And the last day of the show, he came back in. And thankfully, I was not in the booth. My friend that bought the saddle was.
The nerve.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
I went up to her and she goes, well, there was this saddle here the other day. And she goes, yeah, it sold. Well, I was looking at it. And she goes, well, you didn't buy it, so someone else bought it. And she goes, his wife was in there, and she tore him up and down a new one because she wanted that saddle, and it was the cheapest saddle that they had found that she fit in and she liked and whatnot.
Oh,
I was like, he's not having a good time when he's on that flight home.
Karma, isn't it?
It's a
You're riding the
great.
karma plane instead of the karma train.
I'm going to use that.
It'd be a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Or a
Ooh.
Tumbler.
A tumbler.
There we go.
See? Yeah,
I like it.
brainstorming. Dana is a firecracker.
I'm pretty sure we could get 3 orders.
4, I can't make one for myself.
That's true.
Come on.
That's true. That's true.
I get the waffle.
Yeah.
Have you never heard that? The first waffle's never good, so you toss it out. I'm getting the first waffle.
Oh.
I'm getting the waffle. The first waffle. I want the waffle. It's mine. I will fight you for it.
I
Not
called
really.
dibs.
You can have a waffle. That's fine. That's fine.
I said
Oh my goodness.
sales. You won't pay yourself for it. We would pay you for it. That's what I was implying. Good Lord.
Calm down. Yes. It's getting heated. That's hilarious.
Is it hot in here?
One thing that I always have wondered, because it changes, just like saddles, I feel like different colors, different styles and everything. How do you stay ahead like on trends in Western fashion, but while staying like true to the industry roots?
It's a great question. Yeah.
Challenge accepted. Right?
Yes. No, I try and go to as many of the wholesale markets as I can.
Yeah.
And a lot of them now have been combined with like a Western market and a contemporary market. And there's been a lot of crossover in both industries lately, which has been really cool to see. Trying to stay ahead of it. It really just going to the markets, and then there's a couple really good influencers that I follow, and they have predictions of what they think is up and coming.
Oh, wow.
And 80% of their predictions are spot on. So I just try and keep tabs on them and follow their videos of, oh, well, we think jean shorts are going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
And sure enough, a couple months later, everyone wants jean shorts. I'm like, huh.
Interesting.
Wow.
It's really interesting to watch and see on the backside. There's a bunch of not only in-person markets, but there's a bunch of online markets that
wow.
you can do too. And a lot of the companies have started going to, oh, you can't come. Well, let's set up a video chat time, and they'll video chat with you and go through their entire line or whatever pieces you want to see, which is really cool.
That's pretty cool.
Do you feel like you've pivoted more from a little bit of tack and the clothing, or is it pretty equal still, or?
It's definitely not equal.
No,
I will be the first one to admit that.
Yeah.
It's definitely pivoted more towards clothes, just because there are so many different tack stores. Like I personally am like, I don't have this, but you should come to Saddle Up, and I know they're going to have exactly what you're looking for. Or when people are looking for specific bits, my good friend KT Bleeker, she owns Borrow a Bit. So just like, you should call KT and see if she has the bit, because a lot of her bits you just rent for a week or whatever, and then you send it back. And if you want to buy the bit, then she has options to buy certain bits. She has really cool.
That is phenomenal.
Oh, it's amazing. She's in South
We
Dakota.
just talked about that today, that I was telling a customer that we need like somebody that creates a group with a bit exchange program, because your horse does good in this for a while, and then you got to change, and you're going to spend today, the gal.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, she bought a Dutton bit, and it's a $150 gamble. Is that going to be the right bit? And we can give the best advice possible, but it doesn't mean that it's going to work for that horse. So I would love her information. That's awesome.
I can get it to you. She's amazing.
She's really nice.
She is super, super sweet. I met her at a show in Gillette a couple years ago.
Nice.
I could not remember why I called her daughter Squish. I can't remember her name, but I'm like, Squish. It just, like, that's her nickname ever since I met her. And I remembered why I called her Squish. Just like the most random moment I sent her Snapchat. I'm like, this is why I called her Squish.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
And why was it?
She ran up to me one day at the one show, the first year, and she just puffed her cheeks out and was like, so
How cute!
I was like, Squish.
That's
So
awesome.
she just kept doing it. So Squish.
Yeah.
Squish. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
All the sense in the world,
That
for
makes
sure.
sense. That makes sense. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe we could partner with that lady or something, or refer people, because we've
Yeah,
had a
absolutely.
lot of people. Bits are hard. Bits are, it's like a whole different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
whole
I
different
have the
thing.
same mindset that you do, that, I want them to get the right thing. So if they come in here and I refer them out so they can try some different bits, it's just a win-win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
It's a lot,
awesome.
I mean, it's a lot. She has a ton of Elliots and a whole bunch of things, and I mean, those aren't cheap. So try it out. If you need it longer than a week, rent it out longer, but still cheaper than paying $325 and whatever it is now.
It's
And
like a gamble,
Yeah.
It
And then
might
finding
work.
out that your horse doesn't like the bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
We used to be able to do a rental program, but now we sell so much online that you can't have that.
Yep.
It's just
Right.
too hard to.
Yeah,
and
that's too much.
with the selection, I'm sure, no offense to her, but probably slimmer selection than what we would have available for.
Yeah.
But we have 10 different bit vendors.
Oh
so
gosh, easily.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe more. There's a lot. Yeah.
There are.
And
Yeah.
we still don't have the right ones all the time.
That's okay.
We're never going to make everyone happy.
I know.
I know.
As much
that's
as we
true.
try.
Have there been any mentors or like pivotal moments that like shaped your journey as a business owner that you can think of?
So, from what I've noticed just by talking to different small business owners, is not a lot of us, myself included in this, don't have mentors in the industry of you should try this, you should try this. But it's just really interesting. 'Cause, a lot of us, we're like, yeah, we don't have any mentors, but then we all just band together like small businesses do,
Absolutely.
and we'll just call each other random and be like, hey, I had this idea. I wanted to bounce it off someone else. What do you think about this?
Yeah.
And even though we all have our own companies, it's, well, I know your business style and I know what you like. For you, I don't think that would work very good for X, Y, and Z,
Right.
and vice versa. And it's been, that in itself has been really helpful. Pivotal moments, I would say probably a couple years ago when I don't remember if I was set up at a barrel race or if Kelly Kaminsky called me, but Kelly talked to me and was like, hey, we really want you to be able to sponsor the KK Run for Vegas. And I was just absolutely blown away and floored that Kelly wanted me and my company to help the next generation of barrel racers continue to do their dream. I was floored. Like, pretty sure Megan probably had to hear me talk about it for probably like 3 straight weeks because I was like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe it still.
Oh, that's so fabulous.
Kelly and her entire team that run the KK Run for Vegas are phenomenal.
Yeah.
They have so much to do year round,
can't
and at
even
Vegas it
imagine.
is insane.
That's a lot. Didn't you do something too? I can't remember exactly what it was. Didn't you design? Wasn't it Jessica Routiers? Didn't you do a dress for her or something for
I
the
did.
back number ceremony?
So that was,
It was a couple years ago.
I was 22.
That's so cool.
I think it was 20. Was it 22?
I think so.
It was 24. Yeah, it would have been 22. I got in contact with her because one of my really good friends in South Dakota, Jackie, is good friends with her because their daughters are good friends. And Jessica hadn't even thought about her dress yet. And she's like, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested in this, but my friend Josh owns a boutique. He's willing to get jewelry and a dress for you for your back number ceremony if you want. No big deal. And Jessica and I ended up talking, and that's what we did. It was really cool. I got her a black sequin dress. The first one that I ordered came in, and online the quality looked phenomenal, looked great, and I got it, and it just looked cheap and stringy, and I was like, I'm not sending this to a back number ceremony. And so I went on and I found a couple different ideas, and our friend Jamie Glaus actually was the same size as Jessica, so I had Jamie try it on, and she goes, I love this. Like, it's perfect. Like, it's wonderful. And then I paired it with a purple spiny and turquoise necklace with matching teardrop earrings.
That's
really
so
pretty.
Cool. That's
That
so
is
cool.
fabulous.
Jessica's a super nice gal. She's been like in the top 15 world standings, like barrel racer wise. Like, she's such a nice girl too. Like,
Down to
just
earth, yeah.
gosh, yeah. She's got a lot of kids and
I
like
was just gonna say she's a busy mom.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
busy, and man, she
Super
just
busy mom,
goes
super
for
busy
it.
everything.
But really nice gal. So I remember you telling me about that. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, so cool. I'll have to-
So I
was fun.
guess I didn't realize how much you travel to other states.
Yes.
I'd say probably 80% of my sales are at different shows.
Wow.
I was paying $700 a month in rent at my storefront, which in all reality is not that bad.
Right.
And I closed it because I was like, I'm really never here enough. And when I am here enough, then there's just not the sales to make it worth it. So I made the decision to close my storefront and just go back all online.
I didn't even know that. So
Everything's on the trailer at home. I know exactly where everything is for the most part.
perfect.
So I can pull whatever.
Good to know.
80% of everything's on the website, so it makes it really easy for me.
Good to know. Yeah, I think you did it too, but he it was like a couple weeks ago. He's like, hey, if you want to come over, I'm having a clearance sale. If you want to like rate it first. And so, I was like, all right, let's do this.
That shirt came from the
shirt
clearance
came
sale.
from the clearance. And
Nice.
it did. So yeah, that's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I spent too much money that
I
night.
did too.
Proudly.
I was like,
Proudly.
yes, absolutely.
But spoiled myself on the horses that night.
Yeah, and then Keegan like threw a hoodie in for himself, and I'm like, oh, cool, just pile it on. Why don't you?
I was wearing the identical hoodie
I know,
today.
I like the hoodie. It's a nice hoodie.
It's a great color.
It's a great color.
It's like
No,
a sage green color.
It's very nice. It's very nice. Yeah.
Really pretty.
It's Kimes, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How has social media and or an e-commerce site impacted your reach and growth?
It's helped a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not one to pay for the advertising on Facebook or Instagram. I'll do it once in a blue moon, but I get a bunch of my friends just go ahead and share everything when I post it, which that helps a lot because then your reach grows that much more.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sold stuff literally all across the country. Oregon, Montana. I think there was an order from like upstate New York.
Wow.
And they ordered a couple times. Texas, Florida.
Yeah.
It's social media and e-commerce have been a big help.
That's awesome.
Not only for me, but I know for a bunch of other people in the
Oh, yeah,
industry.
us too. It's huge. I think it's the way of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a lot easier too. It's convenience. Why should I drive an hour to go look at it when I can see everything that's online and just order it and have it sent here?
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and if it's all organic too, that's awesome. Like you're not paying for it, But do you do a lot? Is it mostly like Facebook and Instagram? Do you do TikTok, or what kind of platforms do you use?
I mainly use Facebook and Instagram. I need to get better at it. I have days where I'm really good at it, and then I'm just like, I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
But I probably should do a TikTok account, but that just seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's crazy though. It blows up really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's kind of a sensation, so.
We're almost at 40,000.
So we're gonna have
I
some-
know,
my
it's crazy.
gosh.
I don't have TikTok, or else I'd help you get closer to it. But I.
I'm gonna have you start being my model for TikTok videos.
Let's do
then
it. I'll do it.
Let's go.
Heck
Right
yeah.
meow.
Right now?
Right meow.
Right meow.
Right meow.
I can see this happening.
No, it'd be fun. Yeah, it's important. Like, there's a lot of people in the industry that don't do social media, and I just don't know how you can't at this point.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know.
I feel like a lot of the people that don't do the social media, and I could be very wrong on this, are the companies that have been around for ages and
Yeah.
everyone knows their name. So
like, built that name.
they don't need the social media to grow because everyone's like, oh, Elliott Bit. Like, what Elliott Bit do you have?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
What Elliott Bit do you think I should use
Yeah.
as an example?
Yeah, no, I could think of some saddle makers like the ones behind you guys, the McCalls, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll never be on social media.
No. They don't even have a full-time person who can work the email, so.
Honestly, 100% would trust that saddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's even some companies that are big multinational companies that their social media game is lacking and failing.
Yeah.
That's true. Have you messed, this is kind of off script, but have you messed with, like, I know you used to do some live, did you ever do like live videos or live sales?
Live videos, yes. The live sales, I didn't want to pay to change platforms
Oh.
because it
okay.
was a very specific, I can't even think of what it's called now. But you just do all your lives on there and you claim and you have 30 items in and you have to put all those 30 items in and their number and whatnot. Or if it's number 3, but there's 4 different options, it's 4A, 4B, 4B, 4C, 4D. And then you just have to do that.
It's like a whole nother like inventory software type of situation.
Yeah, pretty much. And they bill through that, so then you have to go back to your main platform, which mine is Shopify, and take it out that way too. There was, at one point, there was someone that you could pay that would just manage all of it, but I'm like, I'm not going to pay someone to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that adds up.
But I do know a lot of people that have sold a bunch of stuff that way.
Really? Yeah. We've thought about it, but it's just tricky, Yeah.
At one point, Facebook had it to where if you had your inventory linked with your Facebook account, then you could do it that way and just choose what items were going to be in the live, which was pretty cool. I started to mess with it, and then I got a squirrel brain moment, and something distracted me, and I never went back to it. So I don't even know if they're still doing that.
Do you do any, I don't think you do, but I'm curious. Like, you don't sell on like Amazon or like Etsy or TikTok or anything, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I know some friends of mine, a girl from college, her and her husband sold on Amazon, and they said it was the worst experience for them. So
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It keeps us, definitely it keeps us afloat. Like you look at, say for instance, if we have 400 Amazon orders, we'll have 350 in the store, but in Amazon it's a single sale, and in the store they buy 5 items, 10 items, so it counts the
Right.
sales, not the products within that sale.
interesting.
So but Amazon is, like I was telling these guys, we had a meeting this morning, 15 to 17% of every single item we sell goes, that portion goes to Amazon. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
every single
crazy.
item we sell, then they have free returns. You have people, a couple months ago I had like 5 5-star pads sitting in my office because people will use them, ride them and then return them, and Amazon gives them a full refund right off the bat. So I have, you know, a $350 pad that I cannot sell as new, and
Right.
it's a numbers game. I mean, it's all about that traffic, but without it, for us trying to have the inventory that we have, I'd never be able to have it. But people, shop small.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
I
shop
mean,
small,
Please
seriously.
we're not going to be here. And I know Amazon is the click and the easy, but you've got to support us. And it's so hard. So
Louder for the
it's
people in the back.
yes.
You guys have a good online platform though to begin with. Like every time I've been on it, it's easy to navigate. So to me, I find that kind of crazy that it's not better
Everybody just goes
to Amazon
yeah, it's
because it's a one-stop shop for everything.
yeah.
Yep.
And you know, another unfortunate part is years ago, I don't know that it was that many years ago, I think it was just last year, time flies. But all of a sudden they shut down my Amazon account, and we had no idea why. The people at Amazon couldn't figure out why. I have good account health, everything is good. For 2 weeks they couldn't get us up and running. I had Amazon Pay attached to our website. We had some horse CBD treats on our website, and Amazon doesn't allow CBD or any type of product because it was linked to our website. They shut down my entire Amazon account.
Lord.
And
Wow.
those weeks cost us about $20,000.
Oh.
And there was not a single thing, and no one at Amazon could help me. No one could get it figured out. They kept telling me, we'll get in touch. So, you know, every day
crazy.
you're hounding them. So it's to be, you know, the puppet in that game is just so hard. It's, but I don't know how we would make it without that little nuance, because I wouldn't be able to, even if it's just for turning the inventory and keeping it in stock, it keeps your cash flow going, so you can keep a nice mix of inventory. But I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Every bit of it.
I can't. I don't blame you.
Yeah, it sucks for sure. Yeah, it's not good. We just started selling on Etsy because they're definitely like more small business friendly. But even, I mean, they all take, you know, I think they're probably one of the lower ones, but it's still a good, you know, it's just unfortunate. Yeah. I don't know. How does that saying go? It's not the Amazons and stuff that like sponsor your kids' baseball games.
Yes.
It's not, and I like we give back a ton, like you know, sponsoring the dress and doing all those things. You give back a ton, but it's a hard world.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, at the end of the day, they don't care about anybody but lining their own pockets, which I have to say that delicately, I know, but like
No, it's
we're the ones who care about the community and everybody's well-being. That's why we do referrals and we want to support other people. But at the end of the day, they have such a big control over everything else that it's
every little item that my little store sells. So I think it was last year, my Amazon fees were about $77,000.
oh my gosh.
Like, and you know, we're still a little mom and pop shop, so it's just crazy. Like the greed, and we're one little store. So can you imagine?
No.
You know, they're putting commercials out there that say 60% of our sellers are actually small businesses. We rake them over the coals, but they're actually small businesses.
They're there.
And it's, you know,
Oh my
we
goodness.
host the inventory, so they don't have no skin in the game. We eat all those returns and those free shipping, and you know, we eat it all, so they don't have to. So people tell me, well, you hate Amazon. Like, oh, they're brilliant, but they're horrible, and that's where the monopoly needs to stop, so small businesses can continue.
Right.
Because if they allow that that monopoly to continue, it's just going to eat us alive. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Final warning, shop small, everyone.
Yes.
Shop small.
Shop small. Yes. Public service announcement. Shop small. Yes.
Join us now for this public service announcement. Shop small.
Shop small, everyone. Yes, absolutely.
Do it in your cool.
Do it and you're a cool kid. Yeah. I love it.
Hey, all you cats and kittens.
Shop small.
Shop small.
that's hilarious.
We bring the comedy too. You know? Yeah.
We do.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Well, speaking of like small businesses, I guess what kind of advice would you give to someone in the industry wanting to start up their own like boutique or anything like that? If you had to give them something.
So, one thing, I remember this one of my really close personal friends, Stormy Camarillo, every time I ride with her, it's always, remember, you can learn anything from anyone, no matter their level of riding. You can look at them and be like, oh, they're doing this way, maybe I should try that, and it might work and it might not. But as long as you're open to it, you can learn from anyone.
Absolutely.
So I'd just say the same thing. You can learn from anyone in the industry. And it doesn't have to be by calling them up and being like, hey, I was wondering if you could ask them some questions, or I could ask you some questions. It can literally just be by looking at what platforms they're selling on and their inventory and seeing how they're styling things, and then going back to your own roots of, okay, well, this is my style and this is kind of how I want to portray my boutique. I tell everyone that talks to me about it, I'm like, I am more than happy to sit down and talk to you and help you with stuff, because I didn't have a mentor in the industry, so I'm more than happy to be that person for someone else.
Absolutely.
Just because it is really hard. Don't know where to start shopping, don't know what brands are good brands. There's so many variables in it.
That's true.
Insane.
What events to set up at, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a huge one.
You're going to have a brick and mortar, if you're going to have a trailer, if you're just going to do pop-up shows, what you want to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot in it. It's a full-time job on top of my full-time job.
Absolutely. Especially the event stuff. Like, and I'm sure
That's a lot of work.
that's a lot of
That's
work.
all your off
you know?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my good friends, Christine, she owns the brand at Vaquero. She's out of Larkspur. Her and I carry a lot of the same brands, but the style of the clothing that we get from the same brands is completely opposite. There have been times where we've screenshot stuff and I've sent it to her. I'm like, did you see this? Because this would look really good in your store. And she does that to me sometimes too. And it's just the friendships that you build in the industry are life-changing.
That little community. Yeah. We feel the same with other tack shops in the area, you know, like you got to have that, like Latigo Lariat, we always work really close with them. Like we got to support each other because, if you don't.
There's been some in the industry that have been out to get us, and
Absolutely.
they're not doing as well as those of us that have worked together. So
That's a good. It is. I like that. Yeah,
very,
that's
very
a good
true.
one.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Friendship.
Being nice is the best way to go.
Yeah. Be nice. Friendship. Shop small. That's the takeaway from this.
Thus far, there's probably going to be more.
There's going to be more. There's going to be more. And like speaking of events, like I'm sure that influences your stuff huge. But I mean, is it more so? It's more so like bigger barrel races, or do rodeos kind of help? What does that look like for you?
For me, the only rodeo that I set up at is the National Finals Rodeo in Vegas. Other than that, it's just big barrel races. There have been a couple of other things that I want to try and set up there and see if I do good or not. I technically last year set up at a team roping, and not a lot of the team ropers bring their wives or girlfriends, obviously. I figured I would sell more of the horse stuff than the boutique stuff, but I didn't sell anything at any of the team roping.
Really?
So.
And I've set up at ropings before too, and it is a tough crowd. And even in here, they're a tough crowd.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't carry a lot of roping saddles because they don't come and buy new roping saddles, so they're very.
They're always out for the deal.
They're always out
What do you
for
have
the
used?
deal. And
Their truck barely has gas in it. They're
Absolutely.
Not gonna,
They're not gonna.
So,
Yes.
I've struggled with that as well. Like, you know, maybe an off billet and a latigo and a cinch or a rope, but it's not so big. Have you thought about doing the stock show? Have you ever done that?
I have not, nor do I want to.
I'm right there with you. Yep. Sorry, National Western, we love you, but no.
Well, I look at it from the standpoint of I just did just show days. I did 10 days in Vegas.
Lord.
And from setup to teardown, I'm there between 13 to 15 days. I'm tired of Vegas.
And 13 to 15 hours a day.
Because you're usually there, say the show opens at 9, you're there at 8, 8:30, open everything up, and then you close at 4, so you're there still till 5. And then you go back, you might change clothes, or you might just go straight, get something to dinner, and then it's watch the rodeo, and everyone wants to party afterwards. And then you get back, who knows what time in the morning, and then you do it all again.
Just do it all again for that long. Yeah, I couldn't.
And I feel the similar about National Western, but the hours there are so much longer.
The hours there are so long, and you know, for me, the inventory investment that you would have to do, the staff that I would have to hire that doesn't know our products, like, either you clear out of here or,
Right.
so it's just, it's too much.
Yeah, I have some really good friends, Bo and Teresa Reeder. They own Wild Pony Trading Company, high-end turquoise, amazing stuff.
We love that.
Cheapest prices on everything. Everything's still Navajo made, native made everything. But they do NFR and then they go to National Western, and I don't know how they do it.
Nope.
More power to them because I
Yeah.
cannot.
Nope.
And it is just the two of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
That is
Three of them if you count their little corgi Remy.
Aw.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, that's we seriously looked into Stock Show and then also Greeley Stampede. Nothing against Greeley Stampede, like love them too, but it was more expensive for you to set up at Greeley
I
than it
believe
is
that.
Stock Show.
I believe that actually.
And
Well,
same
I
thing,
feel
just
like-
the hours and stuff. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
I feel like you have a higher chance of something getting stolen from the booth at Greeley Stampede than you do
no
at National
kidding.
Western.
No kidding.
No offense, Greeley, but
That's
no
true.
shade, but
No shade, but a little bit, yeah.
like
No,
Christine
that's
sets
true.
up at Cheyenne Frontier Days, and
Oh, yeah.
she does the year that she set up at NFR. She did more at Cheyenne Frontier Days than she did at NFR in sales.
Wow.
I know some of that's location, but also you literally run to the bathroom and you're like, oh, I'm going to go shop because I don't want to watch this event. And so people go shop. So there's always people shopping.
That's true. Absolutely.
But I also know that the wait list to get into Cheyenne Frontier Days is insanely long.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They got their vendors and they got their
Sticking.
spot.
They got their
Yeah.
spot.
But also, I don't want to do that either because it's going to rain. You're going to have rain and tornadoes the entire
It's
time,
gonna
pretty
flood.
much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eh, it's
Oh
worth
my
it.
gosh.
I mean, I guess rain and flood is better than having a dog pee all over your inventory.
Oh, good lord.
Happened to me at Diamond Classic
It's
last.
happened in here as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the girl was not happy when I confiscated her Segway until she came back to pay for the stuff.
You took possession of her Segway.
I did.
You're like, this is mine now.
I did. She came back and she's like, oh, I don't have my card with me. Can I come back tomorrow? I was like, okay, whatever. In my mind, I'm like, you're not going to come back. So I made a Facebook post back to
Yeah.
social media and just saying how disrespectful it is that people don't watch their animals and just, well, he's good at home. I can bring him to this event and he'll be fine. And just wander off and you end up with ruined inventory. And that Facebook post blew up. The girl who it was from Canada, I found out.
Oh, wow.
And one of the top, as I've been told, one of the top tier barrel racers in Canada actually shared the post and said how disrespectful it was that someone would let their animal do that and just let their dog wander off. And it was about 30 minutes after that gal shared the post, she came back and paid for the stuff.
Oh,
And
shoot.
I was like,
Thanks.
that's what happened.
That's what.
I know people everywhere, so I get the stories. I'm like, thanks. Thanks for keeping tabs on me because I can't keep tabs on myself.
I love it. That's funny. Kind of on a different, like switching gears a little bit, you also ride, you have competed. What events, like have you competed in or what aspects of riding did you kind of partake in?
So growing up, I grew up riding Arabs.
Really?
Yes. Or half Arab, half quarter horse.
My first horse was actually an Arab.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I love it. That's
First
funny.
horse we had was Shirella. She's for Arab. But grew up riding her, and then when I was in, I think it was, like 8th grade, somewhere around there, the youth group that I was going to through the church I was at the time did small groups, and one of my really good friends was like, hey, we need to sign up for this small group with this person, and he was Charlie Kingsbury, and he's dang good calf roper, was and still is good calf roper, and I started going out to the ranch with them a lot with the small group, and then even after small group ended, like all of us kept hanging out, and Charlie and his family are basically my other family.
Yeah.
But Charlie got me into calf roping, so I calf roped my junior year of high school, and then some of senior year, and I quit just because the Colorado High School Rodeo Association is so cliquey, and if you aren't in the clique, then they push you out and no one wants to talk to you.
That's unfortunate.
And I've heard it's still that way. I know a girl that went to Kansas to high school rodeo from Kersey because of
Holy
how cliquey
smokes. It
Colorado's
is here.
high school rodeo association
That's
is.
unfortunate.
And then my one ex, he got me into barrel racing.
Yeah.
So calf roping and barrel racing.
I've seen your barrel racing moves on TikTok, saving some barrels and
Gosh.
whatnot.
That was it was not funny at the time, but it's hilarious watching it back. I'll show you when we're done. It's my barrel racing fail. A week prior to that video, I was at Longmont and I had successfully saved a barrel. So I was like, I can do it again. And went around, had a nice first barrel, went around the second barrel, and I forgot to grab the saddle horn. So when I went to set up the barrel, I just went, whee, right off.
No!
In slow motion, you can see my head hit the dirt and bounce. It's great.
Oh my gosh. That's horrible. Hey, that's pretty handy though. I'll give you that. That's handy. I would fall off.
Yeah.
Slice my finger off or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. What do you feel like, what's the most valuable lesson you learned, like roping and barrel racing?
Roping, I would have to say, it's just, you got to practice.
Yeah.
No matter if you're roping the dummy or you're roping calves, it's the practice that you put in.
Yeah.
Because if you don't put the practice in, you're not going to do good roping. You have to practice. I did not like my mom in high school just because it was, okay, before you come in for dinner, you have to rope the dummy 100 times in a row. And I hated doing that. It was my least favorite part of the day. And she would sit at the dining room table and watch me out the window and she would count.
I'm sure
She's probably
she
keep
would.
telling. She's like, one.
Pretty much.
That one sucked, but 3.
Pretty
That
much.
one, yeah.
Pretty much. Barrel race it. I would say, just you got to find the little things and find the silver lining of.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't have the fastest run, but it was a clean run, and I fixed this problem that I had before, and you just got to focus on that. You fixed that problem, great.
Yeah.
That's a small thing, but that's a great victory.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, everyone's like, oh, well, I did X, Y, and Z wrong. Though I'm like, no, but you fixed this one thing that you were so worried about before.
Yeah.
Focus on that victory.
Absolutely. It's a small
I
fix.
I learned that from my ex because he always would, no matter what I did right, he would always find the things that I did wrong and rag on me. And everyone was like, this is shit.
Yeah.
It was.
It was, yeah.
But you learn to find the little things and celebrate the little things.
Constantly celebrate the little things. Every little win
Absolutely.
we get in here.
You have to, you know,
have
because
to.
life's too freaking hard anyway.
Yes,
you
I
know,
agree.
it's just it's just ridiculous. What or I guess, do you have a favorite horse or like a memorable competition moment that we could reflect on? You could do a different one than
I will do
barrel
a different
save.
one. I love all my horses.
Yeah.
I love Shotgun, my roping horse. I love my mare, Hope, who's a retired barrel horse now. She's everything.
Yeah, she's a good
but-
girl. She's a good girl.
Memorable. I think, honestly, how I became friends with Haley Shear. She had just moved back to Colorado not long before, and we were at Longmont, and everyone was just kind of glaring at her in the warm-up pen like, who are you? And so I went over and I started talking with her, and she was really nervous because her first run back being in Colorado. And so I went and then I watched her run, and she had the new fast time, and everyone was like, oh, kind of a thing. I was like, hey, good job. Like, that was a great run, yada, yada, yada. We went our separate ways. I don't know if it was a couple weeks or a couple months later, but we were at Spicer's and I saw her and I was like, oh, hey. And
It's you,
we
yeah.
just started chatting again, and she's become one of my best friends.
That's awesome.
So
I love that.
you get the power of kindness.
Yeah,
Kindness.
absolutely.
Yeah, kindness.
She has since told me that was when she knew she should be back in Colorado, is when we became friends. Because she's like, you were just the first person that was nice to me in the barrel racing community again.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grows from
Because
there.
it's rough, man.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Lord, is it?
There's days I want to be like, well, it's been a good run.
Right?
It's fine.
I'm selling horses. I'm moving to
I'm
the
done.
beach. Let's
Yes.
go.
Yeah, no.
Swap saddles, maybe not sell them. I don't know if I'm done with that, but switch.
Switch it up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really, honestly, I feel like, I'll be totally honest, if I didn't find like starting to rope, I think I would be done. Like, because I was just getting so burnt out. But
Yeah.
just doing something different, you know,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's why I like with horses, do different things
Oh yeah,
all
keep
the time.
them,
Yeah.
keep their mind
Keep
sharp.
them fresh.
and
Doing the same thing isn't going to do anything but make them bored and
No.
sour.
hot and crazy. Yeah.
Hello!
You're crazy.
Only on days that I didn't want.
Right. With your busyness, I know you don't probably compete as much as you used to or as much as you may want to, like, because you're busy. How do you manage, like, having the horses and still being active in that and then also running your business?
It's a 3 full-time
It's
job.
3 full-time
Because on
jobs.
top of the horses, as we all know, are a full-time job, and then owning the store, which is a full-time job, I have a full-time job.
Right.
I do accounts receivable for the oil field.
Right.
So having that full-time job and then trying to focus on the store and then trying to focus on the horses, it's challenging, but you just find ways to make it work.
Absolutely.
If there's days that we're slow at my full-time job, I'll get on and do stuff for the boutique, just because it's filling my time and it's an option for me because of the company I work with. Their mentality is as long as the work on your desk is done, you can do what you want,
Yeah.
which is very helpful.
Yeah.
With the horses, it's just lots of weekend time, lots of after hours.
Yeah.
Even if it's just going out and scratching on her.
Yeah.
Hope's retired, so I have her 2-year-old now. She's gonna get sent off to training. She's a spicy red hot chili pepper.
It's just cute though.
But that's really hard.
It's hard. Yeah, you gotta have a lot of, like, our next question was like what motivates you, and it's you gotta have that self motivation to keep, when you have that much going on. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot for one person.
Yeah. Well, going to your next question, since you started mentioning what motivates you, it's really the camaraderie of the Western industry.
Yeah.
Because even if something happens, like you fall off your horse at a barrel race, they stop everything, and you're literally swarmed with people of what can we do to help.
Yeah.
It's a true sense of camaraderie. It's a true family.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Yeah. As I hate seeing the tragic things that happen in our industry. Everyone's like, here's what I can help with, or there's literally prayer chains all across the country of we're praying for your family, GoFundMe's, everything. It is insane how amazing and quick the Western industry comes together to be a family.
Right.
Regardless,
despite, like, of differences, Yeah.
Well, it could be like people are like, oh, well, I really don't like them, but this was really tragic, so we're going to do what we can to help them.
Absolutely.
It's
I agree.
true family.
I agree. Yeah. I have a sense of that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think we see it a lot in here too, like different people supporting different causes, different things, I mean, benefits and just, stuff like that. So, yeah. No, it's huge. That's a good reason. That's a good reason. Within the Western industry, speaking of that, what is, like, your idea or, like, plans for the future? Like, what is the legacy that you kind of want to leave with your business? I know, that's a tough one, huh?
That's a tough question. You're going to make me actually use my brain?
Yeah.
I was homeschooled. Come on. I would probably just want people to remember that Ride the Moon helped the next generation of kids in rodeo.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I have a true passion for working with kids and helping kids. I went into college wanting to be an elementary education teacher, and I had a very, very bad experience with the child advocacy place in Greeley, and it just turned me off from it. So I've been slowly finding my way back to helping kids as much as I can.
Yeah.
Instead of going up to youth group when I could, I opted out of youth group and I started helping in the 2-year-old room at church. And then from there, I went over to the church nursery and helped in the church nursery for years. I just love kids.
I love that. Aw, Joshy. That, like, I know, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I just didn't know that. I learned so much about you that you wanted to be a teacher. Gonna keep it fresh. Keep it interesting.
Keep you on your toes.
Keep me on my toes. I guess one final, I'm going to throw in a curveball question.
Ooh.
So there's 2 more questions.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who would you say, who or what inspires you most, like, in the industry?
Does it have to be in the industry?
No, it could be anything.
Hands down, my mom.
Yeah,
Aw.
your
Like,
mom. I love your mom.
she is the toughest person that I know, and she's persevered through a lot. When my senior year of high school, she got diagnosed with multiple myeloma, blood and bone marrow cancer, and the doctors told her that she wasn't allowed to come to my high school graduation, and she was like, "The heck I can't!" And she came to my high school graduation just because she didn't have an immune system, and they didn't want her to get sick. No matter what happens to her, she always comes back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
She is the toughest person that I know. Like, she has taught me what unconditional love is, how you treat others.
Yeah.
It hands down, my mom.
Yeah. Oh, I
But-
love that. She's a great lady. Yeah.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love her. I'm also partial because she's my mom, but
Yes.
No, we love Lynn. Lynn is
she is
very
absolute,
sweet.
hands down. Like, anyone needs help, and she's the one that taught me. If someone needs help, you go help them.
Absolutely.
Whether it's making a phone call, giving them a hug, being an ear to listen to, a shoulder to cry on,
Yeah.
you do what you can.
Just being there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kindness.
Kindness.
Kindness. All right. Your final curveball question.
Dun dun dun.
I was just gonna say.
Oh my
Can you
God.
tell we talk a lot?
Oh, just very lightly. If you had one piece of advice, either that somebody has given you, like you've heard along the way, or anything that you would like to give to our viewers, what would that be? Could be anything. I know. Put you on the spot.
I always go back to this. At my very first market that I went to, it was a gal that was shopping, and she came over and she was like, "You look so overwhelmed. Just let me give you this piece of advice. Whether you keep it, it's up to you. Whether you don't, it's up to you." When you're buying in any industry, buy a little bit of what you like, buy a lot of what you like, buy a little bit of what you love, and buy a lot of what you hate. 90% of the time, it's going to be what you hate that sells the best, and what you love that sells mediocre.
Yeah.
And what you like is going to be somewhere in between the two. And it has actually helped me a lot, because I go back to that all the time, and I think I'm like, hey, I really love this, but
Not everybody's gonna.
is anyone else going to love it? And I'm fortunate enough that I have a bunch of great friends that I can call and text and be like, hey, I need your advice on this. Like, I really like this, but you have a different sense of style than I do. What's your take on it?
I love that.
So it's, you gotta get different people.
Yeah, I've said something similar here, that our repair guy and saddle maker as well. But I said if Bill was in charge, everything would be black, brown, and tan. It's so having that
That's funny.
diversity of everything is
Mhm.
It's huge. Yeah.
It really is.
It's huge.
Now, if it was all up to me, everything would have sparkles.
And pink.
Who
It'd be
doesn't like
pink and
sequins though?
sparkles.
Pink and
Yes.
sparkles.
I love my sequins blazers.
But not everybody.
no.
That's funny. I love it.
Every year at NFR, someone tries to buy my sequin blazer off me. I
I
keep telling them $400. 'cause
Off of you? They're like, I'll take that.
yeah, they're like, how much? Can I just buy this off of you? I'm like, yeah, $400. And then they're not interested anymore. I'm like, fine, because I don't want to sell it anyways.
Someday somebody might.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take $400.
Let's get.
Is there anything else that you would like to add or talk about before we?
I think a common misconception with the
Yes.
Western industry
Yes.
is that everything's one certain way, and everyone comes from one walk of life. And when you step back and you actually look at it, the Western industry is so diverse, because everyone comes from a different walk of life, a different place. We really are like one of the most diverse communities and industries that is out
very
there.
true. It's very true. Different backgrounds, different.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes people come in and I would have went, oh my gosh, never would have guessed that's
Yeah.
a horse person.
Yeah, one of the gals that I buy stuff from quite often, the first time I saw her in market, I was like, she has Western clothes, really? And then later I learned that she's actually this badass, top-notch cutter.
Wow.
She's won the national champions a couple different times. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I would have never
Never
guessed that by
guessed it.
looking at her the first time I met her.
Wow.
So the Western industry is so diverse.
It's very true.
That's awesome.
She's
true.
an awesome gal. Like, I can text her and be like, hey, what product do you have right now? Is the website up to date? And she's always like, yep, text me when you put your order in and I'll start putting it together right away. If I need something ASAP. She did it for me at NFR this year. She's awesome.
Very cool. I like it. I like it. Well, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you. All right. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. Well, let's start. What is, I know I didn't add it at the first part, but what is your background like with horses and then with like the ag community and stuff?
So horses is not what I grew up in. I actually am a 5th generation dairy farmer. My family's been in the dairy industry for eons. But horses was a gift that I was born with. Ever since I was little, I always was drawn to the little toys. Drove my dad crazy. I had to beg and plead and cry and practically scream my head off until he finally was like, fine, we'll buy her a pony. I got my first horse when I was 11. Daphne was her name. She was an Arab, all white. She was awesome. We did not have her very long, unfortunately, and then it took 3 years for me to get my next horse, and I had that one for 10 years, and I put him down in August of 23. So I haven't had very many horses my whole life, but it's always been something that I've been drawn to. I showed a lot in 4-H and stuff like that, but I never did horses, did a lot of horseless horse, showed obviously dairy cattle, and I judged that competitively for a very long time, but yeah, always been kind of a dairy gal, but always been drawn to them, always have been. I love to ride, it's one of my favorite things to do. I'm very green. That's why I don't feel like I'm qualified to be here today,
You
but
absolutely are.
I don't know, there's something about them from doing. They always say that you're born with it.
Yeah.
Like if you're not born into it, you're born.
Lindsay looks at me because I say it all the time. You can't put it in someone, and you can't take it out.
Yes,
I've always had it.
It is
It's
very
true.
true.
Yeah.
My email is horse crazy, and my mom gave that to me when I was like 6.
And it
So
just stays.
it's stuck.
It does. It's true. Like I see a lot, myself included, like my 2 brothers when we were growing up. Like obviously we had horses, we were into horses, and they like rode when we were kids, but as they got older, they totally lost interest. They just went to sports, and even to this day, like they don't dislike horses, but that was never on their radar. And my dad cracks me up because he's a cowboy guy, right? He tried to put me in everything other than horses: ballet, cheerleading, karate, soccer, the whole 9 yards, and it lasted like 2 days because I was like, no, I want the horses. So yeah.
I did play basketball for a while and stuff like that, but it was just always, I'm not going to say, like, not that money is important, but I just never had the support necessarily behind it to go be super competitive in middle school or high school like that.
Right.
So it was always just a hobby. We had horses that we could ride around the dairy and whatnot, and that's what we did.
Right.
And now that I have adult money, that's all that I do.
Hashtag girl math.
So it's just very, very fortunate. I grew up in a great family and stuff like that, and they're very supportive now, especially because I have a problem and I have an addiction. But very supportive now. But it's
only a problem if you get help.
I like it. If you get help, then yeah, it is.
So. But
That's
I
awesome.
did a lot of other things, and I always get asked a lot why I never, since I like horses so much, why I never went into it as a full career, and this might be pivoting off a little bit, but I always wanted to, horses were always a hobby, and I never wanted to get burnt out.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find a job that I was going to enjoy and help, and I love animals, I love working in ag, so I was like, let's focus on the cattle side, that's what I grew up in, let's focus on that, I enjoy it, but keep horses separate if I could.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't get burnt out. And fortunately, kind of coming into your next question is horse supplements. That was not part of the plan.
Right.
So the company I work for is called Lolly's. They hired me right out of school. I actually think they hired me a month before I graduated.
Wow.
I graduated, moved home, and a week later I started.
Wow.
So it was like fast, jumped right into it. But it was actually not after I signed my contract that I learned that we sold horse product.
Wow.
Did not know anything about it. I just knew the calf side of things. I work predominantly in dairy as far as calf nutrition. In dairies, we have to bottle feed calves just because of the setup and everything. We can't do that on their mom. And so I handle mass majority colostrum, milk replacer, digestive aids, and are able to help those calves flourish in a community that is not necessarily designed by nature, but we want to mimic it as best as we can.
Makes sense, yeah.
So that's predominantly what I do, but I do everything from shipping, receiving, sales to consulting. So
awesome.
I'm a one-woman show. The closest help that I have is 9 hours from here.
Oh my gosh.
So
She's truly Wonder Woman.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, because are they in New Mexico or are they in California?
So my company is based out of Stockton, California.
Right.
we have a plant in Plainview, Texas, but both of my bosses actually live in Clovis, New Mexico.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, you're
Yeah.
just
I'm just here.
kicking butt and taking names, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She's great at it too. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
With that, like how do you go about, and I know you've helped me a ton too, but how do you go about like educating customers on choosing the right supplements for their horses?
To me, it comes back to what did nature intend? So we have to look at it as, okay, if there's a supplement for everything on this planet if you want it to be. But look at it as far as, okay, if you took everything away, what would that horse be eating if we weren't here?
Right.
Be grazing. So feed good. If you can't provide, I always say provide good hay, grass or alfalfa. I prefer a mix all the time. I do hay bags. They eat as much as they want. That's great. I supplement and I grain them just because I want to spoil them.
Right.
But also to a degree, what we're doing most of the time, depending on the, not genre, but the brow racing, what is that?
Oh, like the discipline?
Discipline.
Yeah.
Thank you. Jeez, words. Depending on the discipline, it's not natural. Brow racing is not natural what we're asking them to do.
Very true.
So,
Yeah.
and if we're just feeding them 20 pounds of grain, very little hay, we wonder why they have ulcers or they're not performing their best. It'd just be like us eating Twinkies every single day. How would you feel?
Yeah.
But a vitamin is not going to fix that.
Right.
You can try. Probably would make you feel a little bit better for a little bit. It's the same philosophy. That's at least my philosophy.
Yeah.
But I like to look at it as far as like make sure there's no fillers, clean product, as close as to, like most of our stuff has colostrum in it, believe it or not, or whey.
Wow.
There's a lot of benefits in that. Science has proved that. So I like to do that stuff that has benefit behind it. No filler, no soy, no corn, all that stuff, because it's same with us. They're going to get inflamed. But if you can't have a good basis, that's how I always look at it. And okay, what do we need? Are they running a lot? Are they sore? Are they stiff all the time? Okay, let's look at joint supplements, that kind of stuff, in as pure forms as we can get.
Yeah.
And then move on from there.
It makes sense. Like, I feel like sometimes it is very much overcomplicated and then therefore causes a lot of issues in the horse industry. So, no, that makes total sense. I will say my horses are absolutely loving their stuff too. Like,
oh,
they're
yay.
like breaking down the stall doors when I come in. They're like, oh my God, she's here. I'm like, calm down, everyone.
I'll have to show you the video that I have of Duchess.
Yeah.
You open a new tub of the Nutrient Plus, and she will shove her entire face in the tub and just
Yeah.
It's great.
No, they love it. It's
She
awesome.
loves it.
It's awesome.
And all of our stuff has the Lolly's proprietary in it, which is the magic stuff. That's what the founder perfected in his garage back in the 60s. I actually don't even know fully what's in it because they keep it so top secret.
Oh,
but I
wow.
have seen that stuff benefit dogs. I've seen it benefit people. I've taken it before.
Wow.
I'm not disclosing anything. Don't take that. Don't do it. But I'm just saying, like, whatever's in there is such good science.
Yeah.
And so that's the base of everything that we sell as far as digestive aids on cattle and on horses. And I think it's legit.
It's like magic.
So that's how long they've been in business since he
Yes.
started in his garage.
in the 60s. And we predominantly, so Top Calf is what started it all. That's what it's called. Top Calf is the holy grail, but that's what they started. And then he would just sell. California is a huge dairy state. I don't know if you guys have ever been out there, but Central California is like a huge hub of dairies. It's not the biggest dairy state, but there's dairies everywhere. And so he would just go down to neighbor and they'd put it in and boom, see a difference in the calves. And so it literally for a long time just sold by word. And then it slowly but surely we started to get, they hired people and whatnot and we'd move it. And now we're all the way to about Mississippi. There's only seven or eight of us reps.
Wow.
And we cover all of this.
Oh my gosh, so you do a lot of traveling too then?
Yes.
Wow.
But mainly just in Colorado, but yes.
Okay.
What is your official jurisdiction?
Yeah.
Official jurisdiction, Kansas, New Mexico, and Colorado. However, I stay here.
Here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
That's still a lot. Holy smokes.
yeah.
It's a large area to cover.
It's a
It
large
is.
area,
Yeah.
but-
Because Colorado's huge. Like, you don't think about it, but when you're driving through it, man, it goes forever.
There's 65 dairies in the state of Colorado.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I'm sure that actually there honestly might be more, but I think like a lot of those dairies, there might be even more, like 300 or something, but those are like backyard ones.
Yeah.
So the list that I have is mainly based on, I guess you could say, DFA counts, which is Dairy Farmers of America.
Makes
I
sense.
might be off on that total, but because things constantly change. But there's California, I don't even I don't even think I have a guess.
That blows my mind. I would have never guessed that.
Central
And
California.
what made him go in that direction to create the company?
That is a good question.
Yeah,
I actually don't know the answer to that. But I just know that it was, he just wanted to help. That was the thing, is I think back in the day, it was always cheap as you can get, do it fast.
Yeah.
And that was, it's not the answer still to this day. And so I'm
It's
not,
not at all the answer.
no, and it just kind of sparked it. But I just remember the whole story is he started it in his garage like a mad chemist and just giving it to people and trying it. And it just blossomed into what we call Top Calf now. But when we have the proprietary Top Calf, Top Calf is slightly different because, that won't work on horses per se. But that proprietary, that base is in multiple products that I sell. And I believe in it 100%.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
it's
awesome.
pretty easy to sell because once you see it, you believe it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
to have, and horse product is so different too because there is literally anything you want.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be scientifically backed. Fun fact, you don't have to disclose any of the ingredients on it either way.
Wow.
So I could walk into a feed store and you could tell me, oh, I feed this, you need to feed it. Well, what's in it? Well, I don't know, it works. And it could change every single rotation and all that stuff. And that's literally how there's no requirements for that.
Yeah.
But to have a company that we publicly disclose what's in every batch and we don't change it, it's what's on the label is what's in your jar.
Absolutely.
And so on the cow side, that's cool because we brought that over and we didn't have to.
Gotcha.
But
It gives you that advantage kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I
not
know.
trying to hide anything.
No.
No.
Why,
And that
why
makes
would
the
you?
difference. Right.
Why would you?
Right.
And somebody's always gonna find something because we put there's dextrose in it. It's flavoring.
And to that question, why would you? Because there's a lot of companies that are underhanded and greedy and want to put in fillers and
100%.
maximize. And so it's the fact of having, I can tell you're passionate and believe in the business
In the
very much
magic.
so. And that's
awesome.
what it
Yeah.
takes. There's so much bad. We need more good.
Good,
So
absolutely.
That's absolutely fabulous.
But it's really cool to see, I guess. So I just helped a friend of a friend referred this gal to me. She's in Georgia. Never met her a day in my life.
Yeah.
She reached out to me. She had a bleeder that actually supposedly was bleeded. Never had ran out the nose, but something was just off. And one of our products, it's called Racing Formula. Racing and sport are very, very similar, but racing is safe on the track and proven to stop bleeding.
That's crazy.
Proven. Like we have research articles that have done it. So friend of a friend referred her to me and little hesitant at first, and we got her some product ordered and whatnot. And I'm also a equine respiratory therapist. So for bleeders, we did some other stuff. She didn't want to use Lasix. Didn't want to touch it. I said, great, we can do this. And I got a text the 3rd of January. She goes, we forgot. They were doing Lasix just a preventative. They missed her shot. So she was at a 2-day thing. Didn't bleed after on lollies for about, I'm going to say 75 days. Missed her shot. She ran a half a second faster than she did the day before in the same ground, same place. And the daughter was like, I don't know. She felt so free. She just wanted to run. So she could finally breathe.
She could breathe.
And she hasn't done it. They're like, we're not changing anything. So they nebulize her once a week. She's on the lollies. And they actually did do some stem cells on her. And that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
I give it as a preventative. I have a 3-year-old filly that's coming up, and I hope to shout that one day she's performance, and I don't want that to be an issue.
Right.
But even with the joints, so she's been on sport or racing or sport. They're like I said, very very similar. But I kind of, if I have extra inventory, I'll feed one or the other. But she's been on it since I got her.
Yeah.
And I don't want there to be any questions about that. I trust it. And
Absolutely.
so just to see that, that was the thing. That was a very unique situation. It could have gone several different ways.
Absolutely.
And Lasix and hit her hard and all this stuff. And she didn't want to do that. And I have to applaud her to not give in to, I'm not going to say peer pressure, because I do think that there are some horses that have been on it so long that they have to have it.
Absolutely.
But if you're in a position where you can prevent it, or they haven't bled a lot or whatever, but we've got people on the racetrack who swear by it. That is the only thing that they get is the lollies racing. That's all they get, whether they've bled or not before. That's all they're ever going to get. Yeah. And I've seen them. I've seen videos of my coworker Tanner, who handles most of our equine division. He sent me videos, and it's just pouring.
Oh my God.
And then in 3 or 4 months or 4 or 5 months, I'm going to say is
It's done.
you would never know.
If I was in that situation, I would take that route as well. Yeah. Every day. 100%.
Nebulizing
Hands
is also
down.
a great option. If you
Yeah.
don't have a nebulizer, your horse might have some, if you poor air quality and all that stuff, just a routine stuff like that.
Right.
Fantastic for your horses.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like us, like
Yeah.
with a humidifier, when things
Absolutely.
get, dry and or you're sick or
Yep.
something. Yeah. Helps clear
So,
all that out.
but made you feel good. I got a text that this 14-year-old girl had time of her life because she had her horse back, and
I love
they
that.
so I don't think that still to this day I don't think they've used Lasix since. So pretty cool.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You're going against the crowd. I like it.
I
Yeah.
like it too. Yeah.
And you're making a difference.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Sounds awesome. Oh, I love that. I love that. How has growing up in a family that owns a dairy influenced your outlook on agricultural and livestock care?
Oh Lord.
I know that's a big one.
It's getting deep.
So much respect to my family because
Absolutely.
having a dairy is not easy. If anybody out there has a conception that all we do is milk cows, you have no idea what it takes.
Absolutely.
My family has sacrificed a lot over the years, but if you don't have a cow that can walk to the barn that's healthy and happy, you don't have a job. At the end of the day, those cows are your main concern. Nothing else matters. I mean, in a grand scheme, yes, but at the end of the day, the health and the well-being of that cow is all that matters.
Yeah.
So growing up, I think that was a long part of the reason why I didn't get a horse so young is because my dad was worried that I wasn't going to be able to take care of it. And it wasn't his job or my mom's job to take care of that animal, it was mine.
Right.
I didn't have dogs growing up. Literally, I had no animals.
It was just the cows.
It was just the cows. So just that mindset of we're their caretakers. You have to take care
Absolutely.
of them and take the best care of them. Feed efficiency in dairy cattle. You would not believe. You would think that horse people are picky about what they feed. Dairy people are twice as worse.
Really?
Yeah, very.
Wow.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right, or if you want to do it right, you're gonna. What's that frame? If you're gonna do it right.
Right.
So that's kind of always been the philosophy of my family. But so drilled into me since I was a little kid.
Absolutely.
Just like the kind of trucks that I drive and the type of tractors that are allowed on the place. It's literally like
That's awesome.
do it right or go home.
Yes, absolutely.
We're not gonna half butt it.
No.
So-
Well, and I feel like too, obviously we ask our horses for a lot, but I
Yeah.
feel like the cattle get asked for a lot
Yeah.
as well too. So it's the same thing. You got to take care of them for them to, flourish. So
Yeah.
no, that makes a lot of sense. Absolutely.
My family's in a lot of people do it, but in a unique spot because we do our own we grow most of our own stuff and then we also harvest it.
Oh wow.
So round the clock all the time, but that's one of the things. If you're gonna do it, you do it right. And so we test everything. Everything is, packed well. The amount of stuff that they do as far as feed preservation and all that stuff, and tests and everything to make sure that alfalfa is a certain level of protein and all that stuff is, because stuff is heifer, some is cow. There's, it's a whole rabbit hole.
That makes sense though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez,
But
there's
those
a lot that
cows-
goes into it.
How many cows are there usually in your family dairy?
So we milk a little over 1,800.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and when we moved to the place that we are at now, so in May of last year, it was 40 years.
Wow.
And so we started with 125 when we moved.
Wow.
And what was that? 80, it'll
incredible.
be 84. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. May.
Celebrate your family.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So,
amazing.
I'm gonna brag on our family for a second too. Look, the Noosa yogurt.
Yeah.
look, There's only a certain number of dairies that they get their milk from, and Megan's family dairy is one of them.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're Noosa.
So when you buy Noosa yogurt, you're supporting her family.
That is so awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome.
So, and it's really cool because one of the accounts that I work with through Lollies is actually the people who own or part of Noosa and that whole facility.
wow.
So it's really cool because I got to I was like, who do you pull from? And he was telling me, oh, your family. And I was like, what?
Oh, that's
So it's super cool. And if Morning Fresh, if you guys like the home
Uh-huh.
delivery stuff, that's also that family too. So
Wow.
yeah. So all that milk there goes to that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's cool that you guys get to just kind of come together, you know.
So did Lollies find you specifically, or did you apply to them? A little bit of both.
My family found Lollies for me.
Oh, wow.
So my boss, Gary, was covering for the area of the rep before me. He had been gone for about 6 months, and at the time they weren't really worried about growing, they were just worried about maintaining.
Yeah.
And he walked into the shop one day, it was November, so it was cold, and the guys were in the shop and just chit-chat, and he goes, if you guys know anybody who's looking for a job, man, I really could use a rep up here. And at that time, I was actually in an interview with another company, and I had a pretty big job offer actually on the table, but I wanted something that was set in stone by the time that I graduated, and this one wasn't set in stone. And there was a lot of things up in the air about it. It would have been a great opportunity. Looking back, gosh, I would have made a ton of money. But just something felt off. And so my dad calls me. Actually, we were working on Haley's car. I remember that. I got a call from him. He goes, hey, have you made the deal yet? And I said, no. And he goes, Lollies just came. He goes, Gary's covering, but they want to rep up here. And he goes, I know you kind of want to move home. Would that be something you'd be interested in? And I said, I don't know. I said, maybe. I said, let me think about it. It took me 2 days, and I called him, and I ended up having to talk to Scott, his brother, and he was in the truck, and he handed me the phone. I had a job interview 2 days later.
Wow.
And we talked for 2.5 hours.
It was just meant to be then.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep.
I love that.
Goosebumpy.
I know. It's crazy because that whole, the other job, it was my professor got me the gig and introduced me to these people, and it would have been a great opportunity and a position specifically made for me, but I would have had to move to an area that I had never been before, and it wouldn't have been right away, and a lot of travel. Gosh, I thought I traveled a lot then. I would have had to travel a lot, and I'm secluded now, but I work by myself a lot is what that means, but there I would have worked by myself in an area that I knew no one.
Oh, wow.
So that was definitely intimidating, but it just worked out.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
And the people I work with are great. I love my coworkers. I love my bosses. There are days that they make me go crazy, but most of my coworkers are either second dads or brothers.
Her boss never
No?
makes her go crazy.
Oh.
My boss makes me go crazy with the store all the time.
My boss,
Oh wait,
on
it's
the
me.
other
I'm my
hand,
boss.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
But
Go team.
Absolutely.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's so good though. Yeah, it's just meant.
it was
That
meant
was
to be.
the right path. Yeah.
So December was 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It does
know.
fly.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
December 20th.
December 20th. Ooh.
Work anniversary.
That's cool. Yeah, you go ahead. Sorry.
You could tell. She
I did. I
knew.
heard her. I was like, oh.
I like this. This is good.
So what do you think about the influencers that are out there in the dairy industry on social media? Do you follow any of them? Do you think they make a good impact for your industry?
That's a great question.
That's a great
Phenomenal
question.
question.
I follow very few.
Okay.
Not that there's anything against what they do. I think anybody out there who has the correct information about ag and what they put forward is great. Because the amount of uneducated people in general across America in regards to where their food comes from is concerning.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
actually heartbreaking.
Right here in our state.
Oh,
Way bad.
I have
Way bad.
cousins of my mom, or it would be my mom's nieces and nephews' kids, and they grew up on the farm. They don't know where their food came from. I follow a couple of them, and a lot of the one gal I follow, I actually cannot remember her name. She's actually a wife of a dairyman in New Mexico, but she goes to a ton of conferences. She goes to schools and stuff, and she'll talk. But she has a very large Instagram presence. As far as that, she goes to like Santa Fe and stuff, and does conferences in very. I'm going to say it, blue states that maybe doesn't have the best idea of what everybody does.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But she does a lot of that. There's a dairy woman or a dairy wife here in Kersey that she travels a lot and does the same thing. She does a lot of conferences, a lot of school presentations and stuff like that.
Wow.
So she's always gone. I mean, she's never at the dairy. She's always Florida, Oklahoma, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just advocating.
Advocating. She's got family obviously all over the place too, but she does a lot of advocating, they're part of a lot of associations.
Yeah.
And so we need that. So I don't follow a lot of it just because I myself don't have a huge online presence. I'm not like, obviously I have Facebook and stuff, but I'm not, that to me is for fun, I guess, but I don't follow a lot of that. But I definitely think that there's a purpose for it. Obviously, I don't have TikTok.
Right.
I'm an old lady at heart.
24 going on 60?
Yeah. Yes.
It makes sense though. I feel like we see it too, like in our industry, the influencers that are out there really just pushing the wrong information.
Yeah.
That's a really hard pill to swallow because you want to, but how do you change that when they have such a following and everyone's just hanging on their every word, you know?
It's heartbreaking.
It
at
is.
times
It is
in
heartbreaking.
our industry to see what, like, I say it all the time. I will never hurt a horse. I care so much. And there's these professionals out there that steer people wrong every day for that almighty dollar. And I mean, look at me. I get teary-eyed as I talk about it. It just makes me furious. Furious.
Yeah.
No.
But no, there's a lot of uneducated people. For instance, most of your milk from King Soopers and Safeway here locally, Denver, across the state, is actually all local here. None of that is imported. All of that is local.
Wow.
There are some of it that is, Fairlife and stuff like that is. But a lot of that milk that if you went to watch into King Soopers tonight, I guarantee you, there's usually a code on the gallons of just like your generic store stuff. Walmart's a little different because they're so corporate, but King Soopers and they both have pasteurizing plants in Denver, so all your milk is local.
Local. Wow. I did not know that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Learned
So don't be afraid to buy the stuff at the store.
at the store.
Yep.
Sweet. There we go.
It's very good information.
That is very good. Very good. Kind of switching topics back to like your writing side of things. When did you start? Have you just barrel raced, or like what does that look like on like your side of things? Did you rope, or like what does that look like?
I started English.
You did?
I started English. I wrote English for a very long time.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
She's a little posh for us.
I actually, this is probably posh, but I think there's a lot that English can teach you too.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
your Western saddle, you can get too comfortable.
Yeah.
However, I just learned here recently that I've been riding wrong in the Western the whole time because of where my body position was, because of where I was trained or learned in the English
In the
saddle.
English side. Yeah,
So you got to be careful. However, yes, I did all my lessons growing up. I was English.
Yeah.
Never really did compete in that, but the first mare that we ever got, she did both English and Western, and the English saddle just came, and that was what we had.
Yeah.
And then my mom found a kid's saddle on Craigslist for $100, and we had that. I actually still think we might have that saddle somewhere. And then we just threw it on her, and I mean, gosh, we couldn't ride. We didn't know what we were doing at that point in my life, but it was just fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when we got the next set of horses, they came with saddles, and they were both Western. And then the whole switch to Western actually was the first time I went to Cheyenne. I went with my family and my grandpa and grandpa. And Cheyenne has a very, very close place in my heart because that was one of the last places, one of the best memories of my grandpa, who's no longer with us. But it was one of those things, if you can do that, Meg. And so that's just kind of what stuck.
Yeah.
So I don't plan on ever going to the NFR. My goal in life, if I ever get to that point, is to win Cheyenne.
That's freaking awesome.
So-
You're going to. I got
You can do
goosebumps.
it.
Dude, you're going to. We're
So
making it freaking happen.
that's like seriously,
Oh my
that
God.
Daddy.
If we have to drag her kicking and screaming, we will.
we will. We
So
will.
it's very sentimental that if I ever get to go to like the finals and stuff, I get very emotional. It's just one of those things that like as a young kid, I don't even think I was very old at that point. No, it's okay. But it's just one of those memories I just remember. You can do that, kid. Just sitting there in the bleachers and like that just stuck.
Absolutely.
So and that was really the switch. It was like, you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do
You
it.
can do it.
So we had, golly, I did not know how to ride. Still probably don't know, but.
Whatever. No, you do.
So
You're
that
awesome.
that was the whole switch.
Yeah.
Because Grandpa said that we couldn't.
yeah.
We found a cheap saddle. We put it on, and this was a little bit more comfortable than the other one.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I still ride English from time to time. I take a lesson maybe once or twice a year with a gal in Eaton, and
Okay.
because my balance is a huge thing for me. And if you want to
Yes.
get good, do it in English.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
I've never ridden English ever.
Nor have I.
No.
My dad used to always say that the best way to learn your balance and
Isn't it?
Yeah.
to start with
Yeah.
Yeah.
English.
Yeah. The gal I got my first roping horse from, she made me ride bareback in the round pen for the first we had to do 2 months worth of lessons before she would let us buy him. And a solid month of that was riding bareback in the ground pen.
Wow.
Dang.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy.
Kudos to her, though.
She was phenomenal.
That is
This is
No.
just great.
Oh,
I
it's
just
awesome.
love this. I just love
But I'll
this.
have to introduce you to my friend in Eaton. She's actually like, what is that, 30, 35, and 35 and 74.
Oh, okay.
But
No.
super
That's
nice,
only a
got a nice indoor and stuff like that. But I take lessons from her here and there. But it'd been a long time, but your legs will get a workout.
Oh, I bet. And like your core just
Yeah.
from like, I don't know.
And actually, most horses, like, you could use one of yours and they actually prefer it. Like, it feels good on
Really?
them, yeah.
That's interesting. That'd be like kind of fun to
Yeah.
experiment with and just see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it on Vic a couple times. They actually, I mean, if you do dressage and barrel racing, as far as like body position, they're actually very similar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can use a lot of those tools.
A lot
but
of the same like techniques
yeah,
and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. But I will say when I learned, so like I just learned this, but like hips are supposed to be back farther, and you're supposed to sit on more of your tailbone.
Okay.
And then when you go asked to go, like in the alley, you're supposed to be forward more.
Yeah.
I had been riding forward the whole time. I
Right.
never could figure out how do I send them. I was already there.
Oh.
So, really good friend on New Year's Eve actually was like, "You are riding on your cooch way too much." Sorry, I don't know how else to tell it.
Yeah.
She was like, "You have got to sit on your tailbone," which is hard for me at first because I've actually broke my tailbone. So
Yeah.
I was like, "This is not
It's
the most." And I
uncomfortable.
was like, "I feel like I'm way back here," and she was like, "No, you literally moved like 2 degrees."
Yeah.
And horses have responded way better to it. I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
And it was just because she did the same thing she learned on English, and her boyfriend actually pointed out, like, you need to sit back.
Sit back. 'Cause,
And
yeah.
and it's just literally that hip change, and literally I'll do it when I'm driving because I'm trying to work on it as far as like, because I want to get better. It's
Yeah.
always that
Absolutely.
thing. But yeah.
Absolutely. That muscle memory.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It's a
So,
little
but-
different than the Kegel. Sorry. Just had to throw that out. And have a little fun.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so I started English.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good tool to have. Like,
Yeah.
because Morgan, who works here, she wrote English. Didn't she start out as
Yeah,
English too?
she went to
Yeah.
school and she had to do it for like 2 years in
Oh my
school.
gosh.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Impressive.
said she didn't enjoy any bit of it,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
tools that she got from it was huge. And
Yeah.
she's a horse body worker. You know what we're learning about people's position, even
Oh, yeah.
though we've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
You know, we're learning a lot about how much that position affects the
Yeah.
horse. So and you don't realize that.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And honestly, how unless you've been taught, and I don't know, like how are you supposed to teach that?
Right.
Like, in all
Yeah.
honesty, like, unless you've had somebody tell you, like, how else are you supposed to know that?
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody could ever understand what I was asking. Like, what do you, like, just go. No, you don't understand. Like, there's something, if you watch these girls, they sit back and then they move. They send their horses and they read it, and I never could figure out why.
Yeah.
And I'm always here, but how can I go forward without being over top of them? I never could figure it out.
Right.
And then unsolicited advice, she was like, "You are riding way too on your." That's literally what she said. "You're riding on your cooch way too much." I said, "What?" She goes, "Tuck your butt." And literally, she had to get on me a little bit because I couldn't fully understand it. And then
Yeah.
after I did, I was like, "This feels weird," but Chico is responding so much better to it.
Absolutely.
And Vic even too. Vic was always, I couldn't ever get him to work out. He'd ride great for everybody else, and it was what I was doing.
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, we just caused a crap ton of static
You're fine.
on the mic. But yeah, it was just
No, that makes
crazy.
sense. That makes
So,
sense.
but
Absolutely.
I think riding different disciplines is huge. I want to try a cutter, even though their horses are really, really short, and I
It would be so much fun.
don't like short horses. I
My
want to
dad
do.
used to say it's the thrill of your life. If
Is
you could
it?
ever ride a good cutter, yeah.
Let's go do it.
I want to
Let's
rope.
go.
I want
Let's
to
go
rope.
right now.
I've got calves. I just need somebody to.
I've got plenty cabs. Let's do it. We could rope too.
I know.
I'm in.
We need to practice more.
Yeah, I don't have a horse. I don't think for that. Vic, I don't think will let me do it.
It's so weird. There's
Ember.
so many things.
I know. I'm scared.
It's fun though. I never thought barrel racing was so easy until I started roping, and I'm like, dude, what am I complaining about?
Honestly, you're not the first person who said
Oh my
that.
god, your elbow, your pinky, your index finger. Like, what are you doing?
I can give you some pointers.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Look
it.
at that.
Look at us go. Look at us. That's awesome.
So.
That's awesome. Oh, very cool. Is there like a memorable moment during competition that kind of helped shape you as a rider that you can think of?
Finally actually doing it on a horse that allowed you to just have fun.
Absolutely, that's huge.
So
that's huge.
Chico is the horse that I have now, heart horse through and through. Just last April, I went to Texas. He spent the spring in Texas, and just being able to finally okay, forget about it. If you're gonna do it wrong, get out of your head and just go.
Yeah,
Thrill of my life.
that's awesome.
And just to be able to okay, we can enjoy this. We don't have to be perfect all the time because he knows what we're doing. He's gonna keep me safe. Let's just go make the best of it.
Absolutely.
I had so much fun in North Texas for 3 days, and so I will forever remember that trip. We probably were not fast, high loping the pattern. I don't even
That's
remember.
okay. It doesn't,
I had so much fun, and I'm so excited to run them this summer because it's gonna happen.
It is. We're gonna go.
We're gonna go.
We're gonna go.
But I haven't really been to a lot of competitions. I think I've only entered 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So there's not been a lot of that. But just having a good horse that you can enjoy is definitely
That's
the highlight.
huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. It
So.
can make it or break it, honestly.
Yes.
In my opinion. Mhm.
Yeah. So
And getting started where you're at, that is just the best advice. What you said
Yeah,
is,
absolutely.
there's so many people that we see that do so many lessons and training,
Yeah.
and it starts to take the fun out of
Yes.
it because it's
Yes.
just instead
Yeah.
of just getting out there
Yeah.
and being with your
Yes,
horse
and
and
Yeah.
trusting and
yeah.
enjoying.
I do enjoy a good lesson from time to time, and not necessarily, a lesson with somebody who's the best of the best, but I want to ride with Lindsay and I want to ride with Josh more because even when I rode with Josh, the few times that we have done it, it's been, I love to learn, I love to soak up, and even if it's just a little comment of oh, he's still, he's too stiff here, drop this. Okay, great, note that for next time.
Yeah.
So if you can find people that don't take the fun out of it is great too. Riley, who gave me the tip about where my hip placement was, I need to ride with her a lot more because her and I, in general, actually have very similar riding styles. So I need to do that. But just ride with people. I don't even think it needs to be a lesson, but watch people, study people. But yeah, don't lose the fun in it. And I think that's why I had to keep it a hobby because I didn't want to lose the fun in it.
Absolutely.
I love saddling up a horse and getting on because everything else goes.
Yep. It just
You
stops.
can focus on here and enjoy the bits and pieces and feeling a move and all this stuff. And that's why I had to stay a hobby.
Absolutely.
Because I did not want it to, like you said, if I didn't go pick up roping, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to ever, whether it's barrel racing or roping or whatever it be, I don't want to ever lose that spark.
Absolutely. That's a rough mental game when you go through that burnt out phase. Like it's horrible.
And I've had those. Winter sucks.
Oh, winter's horrible.
With my job,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I get so down and everything, and I hate I don't have time and all the excuses, but I mean, don't find a way to keep that spark as far as riding goes.
I love that. That's awesome. That's a great takeaway. Because at the end of the day, that's why you do it.
Yep.
That's why. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I work this good. I love what I do. Do not
know.
misunderstand
No, I
everyone.
understand.
But there's days that I'm just like, good Lord.
I do
We
this
work
for
so
my
our
horse.
horses can have nice lives.
I do. And I don't even get to enjoy them most of the time.
But it's all for them.
It's all worth it.
Oh my gosh. And obviously you use the lollies like to help prepare
Yes.
your horse and stuff. And
Yes.
is that a huge thing in kind of getting them ready and like legged up and stuff? Just
Yes.
making sure.
Honestly, lollies is all I feed. I don't feed
Yeah.
any other, regardless. I have one broodmare, a filly, and then 2 geldings. The geldings are finished, and regardless, the broodmare is on one, everybody else is on the other. So lollies is throughout the entire feed program, and that's the base of everything.
Wow.
I will say the broodmare does. She's just on the Nutrient Plus. There's not a lot of joint support in there, so she is on a glucosamine MSM just because she is a little bit older. And when I first got her, she was super stiff. But now it makes me happy because like she'll just trot around randomly and like just play. She'll just be a horse, and I'm happy for that. So does she probably need it? No. People out there with broodmares are gonna be like, oh, she don't need that. To me, she does. To she's just my one, and she deserves to be spoiled. But everybody else, it's literally just that Chico gets some herbs and stuff because he's always very tense. But that's it.
Yeah.
Everything is very based around that because, I mean, our lollies is not a complete feed, but it covers dang near everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Digestive health, skin and coat, joint recovery, everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Yeah. So it kind of helps you too, like when you are getting them physically ready to start competing in a new season, it's kind of like just prepping them, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, just getting everything like ready to go.
Yes. Vic was super ulcer prone, and when I finally, because I had him way before I worked for Lollies, but once I put him on it, doesn't have ulcers anymore. Finally put weight on him. Chico, recovery on him. He's a very tense horse in general. That's just him, very stiff style in general. That's fine, but it just sometimes when you would ride back to back to back, he'd almost be sore.
Okay.
And so just to help with that lactic acid breakdown, I think that's great. I do a lot of complete equine performance stuff, CEP. I do a lot of that stuff as well because I do trust their products too. But as far as like joint and stuff, everything is just in one. So I feed Lollies, but here and there, little stuff outside. But
little stuff.
that's what I do. Yeah.
That's awesome though.
So
keep them all ready.
yeah.
So.
But and like for Chico, and it's been more than that. But he's 15, and according to the vet, he's the soundest he's ever been.
Wow.
At 15.
That's huge. Because for a performance horse, that's huge.
And he's finished 2D, 3D, not with me right now, but always his whole career he's been a finished 2D, 3D rodeo horse, jackpot horse. Had a lot of different riders. He's competed at multiple different levels, and for him to have that same vet for that long, and for them to be like, he's the soundest he's ever been. And there's a lot to that. Equiscope, right?
Yeah. Riley's Equiscope.
EquiResp is the nebulizer. I'm like, wait a minute.
Her Equiscope is magic.
I've heard it's really nice. Yeah.
I'll show you the before and after what that is.
Yeah.
I firmly believe in that. Has helped as well. Regular chiropractic, but just to he's 15 now, and he's the soundest he's ever been.
That's amazing.
Like you don't.
That's unheard of.
No.
Seriously.
So
Yeah, because that's one thing too, like when you are horse shopping, it is so sad to see how used and abused those horses are, even at young ages.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, you just use them and
they're done.
Yeah, they're done. Move on to the next one. It just breaks my heart.
Oh, I know.
Breaks my heart.
I get heat. I didn't start my 2-year-old as a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
She was way too tiny.
Yes.
And now, my gosh, she's had a huge short spurt. She's a huge 3-year-old, and I'm like, that's okay. I want her to have that longevity. Why would we need to rush starting her as a, and everybody's got their own opinion, and that's fine. But for me, I was more concerned about the longevity. Fortunately, your 2-year-old is very large. She's a big girl. Ember just almost stalled a little bit. She's giant now. She's actually bigger than her mom.
Wow.
Like at her butt, they're taller now. But I mean, she was tiny last summer.
Yeah.
So everybody I talked to was like, if you can hold off, okay, great.
Great, yeah. Well, I applaud you for that because that drives me nuts. I hate that. Like,
some horses can handle it, some can't.
Some can't,
And I've posted her, and I've got a lot of. Everybody's like, well, she's not started. It's like, well, she wasn't ready to start.
Absolutely.
And if I get to keep her, well, then guess what? I want her to sound like Chico at 15.
Absolutely.
That's the whole point. I don't want them to be uncomfortable. And so I'm not in, like, Chico obviously gets injections, but like.
Right, but I think there's a difference with something that's maintainable and manageable than like they are just literally blown up.
Yeah.
Blown up
Broken,
to the point.
yeah.
Broken, just. Yeah,
they
ran
need to be
out.
done. Yep.
Yeah, and that's huge. That's huge. Absolutely. Absolutely. I give you huge kudos for that on your filly because that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I care about her. I mean, that's the thing. I want her to be nice, whether it's for me or for somebody else. And I for a long time was very uneducated about feet. But going back to the dairy side of things, if you don't have a cow that can walk to the barn, you don't have a cow.
Right.
You gotta get her in the barn. She's gotta be comfortable on her feet. So for me, the last year and a half, I've gotten really, really into feet, studying how they all works and the angles and stuff like that. And before, you have to trust your farrier. Sometimes if you're like me, I didn't know any better. I just did what a friend told me, and that cost me.
Absolutely.
So now, fortunately, a very good relationship with my farrier, and he knows that I'm very picky, and that's good because I need him to be.
Absolutely.
And I think that, I mean, feet have never looked better, but especially in young horses, if you don't have a good foot at a young age, it's just like if we don't have good, support in our shoes or whatever, it's just
it's going to catch up to you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. No, it's huge. It's huge.
I want all that knowledge that you've studied about.
Okay.
It's a big,
Huge.
It's huge. Like Striker, he's an amazing horse, but they didn't take care of his feet when he was younger, so he is crooked as crooked could be. His feet have never looked better, but he's got navicular problems. He's got and solely it's not genetic, it's nothing, it's because they did not start out with good feet. So his feet are just, my farrier, she's funny, she's a little vulgar, but she's like, when I first started working for you, they looked like melted candles. I'm like, yeah, they did. Now they don't look like that, but it damages them. Same with, I mean, saddle fit and stuff. It goes, those things, it definitely,
yes.
down the line, it's going to catch up to them. So it's important to be aware of and take care of them. So yes. I know this is kind of not controversial, but it can just be a little interesting of a topic. But what are some of the challenges that you have faced as a woman in the Western and ag industry?
Ooh, good question. I will have to say there's definitely been some challenges, but I will have to say, especially in my position, I've actually had, I'm going to say, benefits to it as well, which I'm happy to report. But a lot of the old school dairymen, it's women shouldn't be out working. Right. They should be in the house.
Right.
I had one guy that I worked with actually called my dad and wanted to know why I was out and about and that a woman in my position should not be working in ag.
Oh my God.
I did not hear that story from my dad, but I can tell you it did not go well.
Yeah, I can imagine. Absolutely.
Shout out to my dad. He doesn't know that I know that story, but anyway, so yeah. But so, I mean, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's your old mentality. My grandpa was that way, believe it or not, and that's okay. Whatever. Times have changed though, so I'm proud to be here. I work a very, I'm gonna say, masculine job. I'm the only other woman in the company that does what I do. Yeah. Like I throw bags, I drive trailer trucks, strap things down, A to B, drive equipment, all that stuff. Not a lot of girls want to do that, and that's fine. There's days I don't want to do it.
Right.
But I will say, as far as like sales goes, when I walk into dairy's offices, I don't get yelled at most of the time. I've been like, no, not interested. But like I've been behind my boss, and they're super gruff. So I've been like, there are benefits that there's more respect most of the time where they'll give me the time of day or they're a little bit more polite.
Yeah.
I build relationships a little bit easier with most of these guys because if I bring my bosses in to, hey, we're at a big meeting and they're totally different like they were to me.
Wow.
I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah. It's like a softer approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But there's definitely times where they just don't want to take advice from a gal, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But
it's just the industry. We get it too.
It's just that honestly,
all the time.
Industry maybe, but I think it's just the demographic of people, like the age of people.
Absolutely.
Maybe not true. Maybe I think there's some overlapping there, but yeah, there's the age group, especially older gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Most of either they're super, super nice and they want to marry you, or they
or they're like
absolutely not.
There's no in between.
I want some cookies, damn it. So like those are your two options.
Yes.
But honestly, it's been I feel like I'm too stubborn to take it and no from it.
That's good. Yeah.
So
heck yeah. Reminds me of somebody else.
If you don't like it, too bad.
She's gone toe-to-toe with some saddle makers, and I just love it because it's like, it's those good old boys, the good old cowboys, and no offense to them, it's the Bills of the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, they just tunnel vision.
We get some of the old cowboys that come in here and look right past me and Lindsay and, Bill here? Where's Bill?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then you'll tell, I just speak to the owner, Bill. And it's like, well, he's not the owner. Yeah, he is. Like, I've had customers argue with me over... Yeah,
you're
because
like,
he's the guy. And was he your husband? Nope.
No affiliation.
Single lady. I'm a single lady.
You have to put your hands up.
Me too.
Up in the club.
Yes. I love it.
But so there's definitely been stays, but most of the time I have a good relationship with 90% of the guys that I work with.
Yeah.
I have a few gals that I work with here and there, but mass majority are men, and I have a good relationship with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I love the guys I love the coworkers that I work with. I love the guys that I work with, the accounts. Honestly, if it wasn't for good coworkers and good accounts that I work with, I don't think I'd still be here.
Yeah.
Because things have definitely happened. Crazy things have definitely happened, like they're going to. And I mean, if it wasn't for the support behind it, game over.
Yeah.
I mean, I've walked into an office before and I was having a bad day. I wasn't crying or anything, but the guy just could tell that I was having a bad day. And turns around in his chair and he looks at me and he goes, I said, hey, unloaded this stuff, whatever. And he goes, are you having a bad day? And I said, we don't have enough time to talk about it. And he goes, tell me about it. And I gave him everything. He goes, I said, sales are down, this and that. He goes, okay, whose number you need? Pulls out his phone. He goes, whose number you need? Do you have this guy's number? Do you have this guy's number? All help in the world.
Oh my
Wow.
I had a producer today. I do a lot of work out east, and snow's supposed to be bad tomorrow. And I'm supposed to go back out there, and he was like, "If you need to stop, something happens, stay at the house. We have a guest bedroom. So I only got an air mattress. We just moved in, but
But
stay
it's
at the
there
house.
if you need
Yep.
it.
If you
Wow.
get stuck somewhere, call me. We'll come bring a tractor out, like that kind of stuff. And I
Yeah.
know I have multiple. Like it's just you don't get that everywhere.
You don't.
So it
No.
just makes me like today that conversation. I was like, thank you.
You needed that. It
Yeah,
like,
I did.
motivates you to,
Yeah. So yep.
Yeah, keep going in it. Absolutely.
So-
It reignites the fire.
It does.
Truthfully, though.
It does.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I've got this. Those are a couple things. But they, like you said, being kind is one thing. But when you surround yourself, even just in the industry, people are always willing to help you. But
Absolutely.
kindness.
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 Yes.
Shop small. Kindness. Just gonna keep plugging it.
Circle back.
Circle back into to that. That's funny. No, I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Just having that support and community, especially
100%.
in a tricky industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Is there someone like? I know we talked a little bit about Josh. Was there like a key mentor in your life or anybody that really just kind of helped motivate you or influence your career?
career, no, and not in a bad way.
Yeah.
When I went to college, my dad says, "Don't come in ag, don't
Yeah.
come back." They wanted me to go do lawyer, go do something because ag is not easy.
Right.
And I came back because I'm too stubborn.
You stubborn?
But as far as mentor, just the good roots of having a very supportive family. My cousins, my family were all very, very close. So I've always had that support and everything, regardless of whatever I was going to do. But I feel like there's no influencer or anything like that to do it. They probably think I'm crazy, and I am. But there's very, very few women in this position, which is okay. And I don't think I'm the first, nor will I be the last, which is awesome. But just gotta do your own thing sometimes, I think. And when I started this, it was to help. A very naive thing. Obviously, I'm very young, but when I started, I was like, I want to help. And I want to help in the industry. How can I help these producers? How can I help them? Raising calves is hard. Okay, I can help them.
Yeah.
And so I kind of lost track of that late last year. And so coming into 25, I had somebody say, I actually thought about leaving. And my dad said, you can't leave yet. You're not done helping all the cattle. Okay, we're back in.
Yeah, we're back in.
So
yeah.
I've had kind of this last couple of months, I've really been really aggressive and like, okay, people that don't think they need help, you're getting help.
Yeah.
Okay, where, things aren't clean, this or that. Okay, we're headed, we're going first. So that's kind of just the inspiration of just do better, help people.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy, and I get it. But if I can, help one calf or one person to be, okay, we need to clean, or if they don't know, okay, let's ask questions. We need to do it this way. Okay, then great. Let's change it. If I can help one person, one calf, whatever that is a day, then I'm doing my job.
You two are very similar
Aye.
in your passion.
I want to quit this every single day. Every single day I want to quit. And it's the difference that we make for those horses.
Yep.
The people very much so as well.
Yeah.
But
It's the animals.
Aw.
yeah.
So,
It is truly.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. In all the years, whether it be in the ag community or the Western community or just anywhere in general, what is like the best piece of advice that someone has said to you that's just like really stuck with you over the years?
I think it was a Sandra Bullock interview, but she was talking about how if somebody is rude to me, I take that to heart. I grasp onto it and I don't let it go. I hold on to it. It just spirals. He knows firsthand because there's things that we talked about. I told him to happen 2 months ago and I just bring it up because it's just on repeat. And the interview was, if every time somebody said something mean or nasty about you, do they remember it like you remember it? Because I guarantee you they don't. No. So why would you hold on to that because it never bothered them?
That's true. Wow.
I don't think I said it exactly like her, but
No,
it was
but I
that
get-
general
yeah.
point.
Absolutely.
So it's just like, let little things go.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. Never said I was going to be. Nobody on this planet is going to be perfect. If you don't like me, that's fine, which for a long time I didn't like. I wanted everybody to like me. But if you don't like me, that's fine. You're missing out, but that's okay.
Absolutely.
And if you have, great, we're going to move on.
Yeah.
If you don't like how I did something, okay, well, we'll know for next time, or you can do it differently, or just little things like that. I would hold grudges so much. Okay, why am I doing it?
Yeah.
They're not wasting their energy. Why am I wasting mine? I have much bigger fish to fry.
It is. Yeah. That's awesome because I relate to that 100%. That's
Same.
hard. Yeah. Same.
I'm the king at holding grudges.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's like it is. It's like like it just hurts.
It does.
You know?
I told Lindsay I came out here on Saturday and I wasn't gonna work, and I came out on Saturday and this crotchety old man came in and he was just mean, and I could not get out of here fast enough, but it affected me like almost all day long. And it's still like I had to tell her about it first thing Monday morning, and it happened Saturday morning. Like,
That reminds me of the episode of Reba where Van's like, how do you keep from letting all this get you? And Brock's like, it's just like BBs off a butt beamer. Bing, 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 bing.
It's hard though to get past that.
It is.
I feel like it's kind of, I'll make a cheesy reference, but it's kind of like the writing. Like it's muscle memory. So when you're used to that, it's so hard to retrain your brain.
Yeah.
Like to
I've never thought about it that way. That's a great way to look
That
at
is
it.
actually a great analogy. But yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's hard because I relate to that too.
There were mistakes. I mean, I've had some issues and made some mistakes, and I hold on to that a lot. There was some that I made back in 2023. Actually, that's when the first big one happened. And not every day. I used to think for almost a year I thought about it every day.
Yeah. I get
And
that.
I lost a lot of spark, and I lost a lot of confidence, and one truly wasn't even my full fault, but I took most of the blame.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it just really, really messed with my head. And so the way that I was talked to that day, no person on this planet should have ever been talked to that way. However, it happened. So, but he doesn't have one single second thought. He doesn't. I bet you he doesn't even remember it.
Yeah.
Why on earth do I waste so much time? Move on.
Yeah.
Be a better person. Learn from it and let it go.
Yeah. That's great.
So
That's a great takeaway.
Yeah.
I'm going to do better and be like that too.
Yeah.
You
I know
inspired me.
it's not easy. I know it's not,
Yeah.
but I've been a little sassy lately.
Just
You've
sassy.
probably noticed.
We'll hold each other accountable to that.
Yes. I love
But
it.
yeah.
I
So.
love it. All right. I have one final question
Oh,
for
Lordy.
you. No, it's
Dun,
okay,
dun,
though.
dun.
It's a
Dun,
good
dun,
one.
dun. I've been talking a long time.
No,
That's
it's
probably.
good, though. This is
This
awesome.
has been fabulous.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. What legacy do you hope to leave in both the horse and dairy industry?
Ooh. Dairy. Obviously, I hope to somehow, some way continue my family's.
Absolutely.
Obviously, times have changed, so I don't know what that looks like in the future, which is a little scary. I know for a fact I do not want to be a dairyman.
Yeah.
Nothing against anybody who wants to do that. That is not in my cards.
Hard
Yeah.
work and a hard
Yes.
life.
Very hard. Very.
Yes.
Do I want to be a part of it for as long as I can? As far as whether it's helping calves or some other nutrition company, absolutely.
Right.
I love what I get to do. I wake up and it's like I get to feed baby calves today.
Yeah.
When people genuinely, if everybody gets confused about what I do, that's what I do. I feed baby calves for a living.
I love that.
And is it more complicated? Yes, but that's okay. So I'm not sure. I'd like to carry on that family legacy, and I hope by what I'm doing I can help with that. Am I making a name for myself in a different way? Yes. I am a Podtburg, but at the same time, it's not in the same way that Podtburgs are known. So it's kind of cool to get your kind of stamp it yourself. But horses, obviously, win Cheyenne.
Hell yeah. You're doing it. We're making it happen.
So honestly, just enjoy it. But winning Cheyenne, I think that's as far as we got.
Yeah.
So I think even just, I think there used to be a jackpot up there, and I would get so excited about the jackpot, and I never got to go. But if somebody wants to bring that back, whoever's listening, if we can bring the jackpot back, that'd be awesome. But I don't have a rodeo horse right now, but that doesn't mean it won't happen in the future.
Heck
So
yeah. Let's just make our own. How about that?
Yeah.
We'll just
Do
do
it.
it.
Amber, let's go. No
Let's do
pressure
it.
there, little one. Hey, we got an Ain't Seen Nothing Yet coming in 2026. So I'm excited.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
The babies.
The
Das
babies.
babies. Das babies.
So just to recap, you have 4 horses?
I have 4, 1 on the way.
Okay.
Soon to be
Got
fifth.
it.
Good,
Nice.
soon to be 5th.
Give it a 30 days,
Yeah.
and there will be 5.
So yeah.
I love that. And you have
2. I was supposed to have a baby this spring, but my mare aborted at 7 months, so we got to do a rebreed to SR Industry Titan.
nice.
Nothing wrong with her, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Full just had a really bad umbilical torsion. So
It's hard. Yeah, a lot of people don't see that on the outside either. Just like you, like
Yeah.
saying there's so much to it. It goes
Yeah.
with the
Oh,
horses
absolutely.
too, you know.
I've learned so much about the breeding side of things that I
Oh,
would
yeah.
have never known had I not bred and got Duchess, my now 2-year-old.
Yeah,
It is insane.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
One of my professors in college, Dr. Lance Baker, I did an equine reproduction class. And the first day of class, we're going over the syllabus, and he goes, "If you have a mare, if you're familiar with this, great. If you have not done this, please do not do this." He was pretty much telling us. I mean, it's not easy, but he was telling us, "Do not do it." And as soon as I bought my mare, I literally laughed. I said,
And do
"Dr. Baker, I'm doing it." I literally, almost every once a week, I'll get that thought. Do not do it. Me, I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. Full send.
Full send.
I love it.
Not good.
I love it. That's awesome.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Guys, have anything else, or do you have any other questions that you'd
No,
like to
you guys are
add?
amazing.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you for having us. This
Yeah,
was
thank
so
you for having
much
us.
fun.
for being
Like, the
here.
only thing I think is thank you guys for being awesome, and thank you for
Yeah.
starting your business.
Yes.
Growing it as big as you have, and you're
Yes.
continuing to grow it, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
I know.
So proud of you.
You should
My
be
head
proud.
examined. this one here. She is my salt of the earth. So yes.
Your man too, banana.
Aw, thank
I think it's
you.
important that you surround yourself with good people.
Absolutely.
I don't think that point was talked about, but there's obviously kindness regardless of who it is. But if you do not surround yourself with
Yeah.
ride or dies, people that will, if you have an emergency, will drop everything to get to you, or regardless of the run or whatever bad day, you can call. I talk to him every single day. But like we have one of our best friends is in Texas, and we always know we can count on her, and vice versa, and just our circle. And if you don't have that, you can join ours. But
We welcome you. Yes.
Yeah. I think going off of that too, it's especially making sure at the end of the day you're giving glory back to God.
absolutely, yes.
'Cause God plays such a big part of everything that we do.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
just pray over the little things, the big things, the things that you don't think matter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been so much fun.
It's been a blast.
I've had so much
Do
fun.
we have to end it?
I know, we could just sit here and talk. I'm sure we could do a podcast with the ghost. She seems to be very.
Yeah, she's
very
very
interested.
active.
Settled down a little bit, did she?
I don't know, dude. I keep
Something
hearing
about what I
some
said
things.
about something with the couch she did not like. I kind of
That's
ruffled
when
her
she
feather.
was like, back.
That's
she
when
was
the
like,
cardboard boxes kind of moved around.
We watch the cardboard boxes sometimes, like they'll be all stacked up like this, and it goes.
We have so many different
Like,
footages
they'll
of
be
like everything. It's crazy.
Made in like that would be if it was folded up, but sometimes they're stacked on top of each other, and then it goes.
She's very active. I've heard a lot of noises in here tonight. We did.
I've seen lots of things.
I have too. I swear to God, dude, I see like things. Yeah, we did an episode talking about the shop ghost, and it like fueled it, man. It's like got its 5-second like of fame, and now it's just like I'm here.
Here I am to save the day, and I look fabulous.
She didn't like when I was talking about cows, though. That's when she made her presence known. She did not like the cows.
Should not.
Or she was very invested in the cows. One of the two.
Maybe,
but
maybe she's really passionate about cows.
cows are awesome. Have
Cows
you?
are
I love
awesome.
cows.
Love cow you, but
Das
Okay.
Mookhouse.
You know what's weird?
oh,
My chair, like for what 2 weeks?
oh yeah.
Every time, at least 2 weeks, every time I would sit in my chair, it was way lowered. I'm like, God dang it, the stain ghost. And I put my chair up. I can bounce, 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 bounce. Won't move down. I can go walk to the back. I come back and that chair's down. And it hasn't,
Hasn't done
It's
it.
gonna. That's not wood. It's gonna do it soon.
Get a saddle.
It's gonna do it soon, but it hasn't happened for like a few weeks. It's gonna
Probably
start
gonna happen
happening.
now. I don't know,
again.
dude. I keep seeing shit like walking. Like that's what
I see stuff walking over there, so
I know. It's great. It's so much fun.
it's fine.
Anyway, otherwise, well, thank you again. That was so
Thank
much
you.
fun. You guys are
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you for doing
Thanks
so
for
much in
having
the
us.
community, and we appreciate y'all. So,
We appreciate you guys.
well, thank you.
Final reminder: kindness and shop small.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, and be sure to tune back for future episodes, but we will call this one a night, and it was just so much fun. So, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to give us a like, drop a comment, or subscribe to keep up to date on new episodes. See you next time.